Hey everybody, how's it going? SnowRunner hard mode. I am almost rank 18. This video is just going to be talking about different stuff. The first thing I want to point out, you can actually start your vehicle by hitting either the L2 or the R2 button. L2 being reverse, R2 being forward, rather than going through these four steps, which is up on the D-pad, hit the start button, and then back with the B button. Okay, so that was 3 steps, which gets really annoying, right? So let me just turn it off, which I have to go into this mode for some reason. There's no way to turn it off quickly, which gets really annoying because a player will hit the stop engine button and then try to hit the start button by hitting R2, and it says close functions. I cannot tell you how many times I've done this. It's super annoying. I actually have to hit back on the B button, on the back button, not the B button, the back button, which is the circle button, pardon me, and then I can hit R2 and start the engine, rather than going through these ridiculous steps of start engine, you know, which would have been. But anyway, once I got past that, and I still haven't gotten past that point, it always tells me to close functions because I'm in the damage menu. So here we are in Alaska. By the way, I hope that made sense. For those of you that don't play this game, it probably made no sense at all. We're on our way to do a mission in White Valley. All I have left is 1 small pipe and 2 wooden planks. As you can see, I have 1 wooden plank here. But as I go on my travels, if a mission requires, like say, 1 wooden plank, I'll get 2. I'll load up 2 because I'll know I'm going to need it later. And on the way to the small pipes, I've got more wooden planks on the side of the road, which I have saved for like 2 weeks, literally like 2 weeks real time, because I knew I would need it one day. On hard mode, this game becomes completely different. Everything has to be planned. Some missions, you can do 3 or 4 of them and chip away at them slowly by looking ahead on the mission contract mission screen, which everybody knows is you hit the middle button on the PlayStation 4 controller, the big square middle button, and scroll over to contracts. These three categories. I still have a lot to do in Alaska, but I've gotten very far. As you can see on this one, I've done, for some reason it won't let me scroll down to the ones I've already done to look them over, but that's not important. So this one, only 3 more contracts and Blackbird is completed. I'm not sure what Blackbird is representing. It's just something that's actually probably a real thing in real life, and it's incorporated into the game. So right now I'm on Town Supplies, which is under GR Enterprise. Yeah, right here on the top. Now you can see as some of them are highlighted, some are not. That's because I've done portions of these missions. So you can see if I hit start tracking, I haven't done any of that, but I've looked at it. If I hit back on the circle button, do village delivery, start tracking, cement and consumables, okay. Now what I do is if I'm going to some place and I've got room, with whatever cargo room that I have. For example, here I have the truck itself, which has 2 slots available, and then the trailer behind me is 2 slots. And if I'm at a spot where cargo can be picked up on hard mode, it is almost prudent because of the fact of fuel, which I'll get into in a moment. It's prudent to pick up whatever you can from where you're at the cargo stations for later, for on the way for different missions. Missions are accomplished on hard mode by chipping away at them slowly while you're on your way to other missions. Planning ahead, sometimes it can take an hour, half hour to an hour to figure it out. Just slowly look at the map, take it all in, think, come come up with a strategy and have fuel along the way set up all ready to go. That just takes planning, and that's totally different from regular mode. In regular mode, since fuel is free, there's no consequences. You can zoom around back and forth on the map and waste your time. Not necessarily waste your time, but double back on yourself more times than needed, because there's really no planning needed for. Of course, there's some planning, but there's no real planning. The reason I say real planning is because fuel on hard mode, of course, you need to pay for, and if you pay for your fuel, you might as well just not even play the game. All fuel can be provided for by, there's fuel tankers all over the map which give you free fuel technically, if that makes any sense, for this game, for this universe. Here, I've had this, oops, I'm on the wrong, I need to get my town supplies, which was under Morrison Mining. Now, where did it go? There, this one. Gotta make sure this is being tracked. That's another thing. Start tracking. There we are. Okay, so now I'm back on the mission I was supposed to be on. Originally, it needed more. It wasn't just small pipes and wooden planks. Here it actually shows you concrete blocks. I was near and I already took care of, because I was at a cargo area where they had concrete blocks, but I didn't need them at the moment, but I knew I would need them for town supplies. On my way, I highlighted town supplies, tracked it, dropped off the concrete blocks, and I knew somewhere in my travels in the future, small pipes and wooden planks would be a part of the equation. That's how hard mode is accomplished. You do contracts. I'm going to say it again because I can't think of a better word. You chip away at what is necessary to complete the contract. You don't just... Contracts are not completed. Hold on a minute. Why is it not... For some reason, I cannot pick this up. There's no winch point. That happens, but this is the first time this has ever happened. So it must have got really deep in the snow. Okay, so this was unexpected. I'll get it on my way back because or wait a minute, let me just see if I can nudge this out of the way. First, let me just back up with this trailer. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Detach the trailer. Probably not far enough. So, contracts are, on hard mode, it is almost mandatory to look at, and maybe you're doing basically like 5 or 6 at the same time. If that's a better way to explain it. Let's see if the crane, yes, that's what I wanted. Now it's giving me the winch point. Gotta make sure you have the anchors down, especially for this truck. It's a very reliable truck, but it still needs the anchors. It's just not, don't want to flip it. That's what I needed. A little nudge with the truck. Winch point? No. I guess that's what they call it. They call this a winch too, for some reason, the game calls. Maybe that's what it's called in real life, but it's wire rope, not cable. Cable is totally made differently than what is used here. I'm pretty sure it's wire rope. Cable would snap, because of the way it's designed. Wire rope, on the other hand, is much more strong. Now, we can head on and get the wooden small pipes. See that the wooden planks there has been there for a while. I left it there on purpose, and there on the other side, next to them, is some service parts. travels. And on hard mode, fuel is so important as soon as you start paying for it. And you will once in a while have to pay for it, but only once in a blue moon. But you know what I've noticed? Alaska, there's so much more fuel spread around the map than Michigan. So much more fuel. It's ridiculous how much fuel is in Alaska. So if you play hard mode Alaska, don't worry. There's plenty of free fuel in containers, fuel containers, trailers. The big ones where you need a saddle low to carry, the big semi-trailer ones. Those are cool. So I'm going to load up some small pipes. Do it with the crane. I'll tell you, I've saved so much money. The investment in this crane for the Fleet Star at the very beginning of the game is worth it for hard mode. Hard mode is much more fun to play. If you haven't played it yet, I suggest you start, but you start from the beginning of the game. And I can understand if you would not want to. But it really gives a sense of more immersion. Everything has a consequence. Things get more real, no pun intended. They just do. The game is 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more fun on hard mode. It can also make you angry. I had to restart hard mode once. I had simply... It was my first time playing hard mode, pretty much, you know, I got to know the game. Wait, no, I went too far. First, I got to know the game by playing the regular version. I played it for 6 days. And then I realized it was way too easy. Everything was free. There was really nothing to spend money on. You know, you can buy trucks in this game that are not available on the map, which is cool. That got kind of fun. And then I just realized that the... What am I doing here? Being completely ridiculous. I don't think this would be a good thing to do in real life to our trailer. What? The good thing is trailers don't get damaged in this game, or trucks do. Trailers don't. That's the universe that this game is. It is what it is. Take advantage of it. Okay, now I'm in all-wheel drive. Just for that moment. So then I started, after playing this game for 6 days, regular mode, just to get to know it, get through the tutorial, get the muscle memory for the controls on the PlayStation 4 controller. Took about a month, and I'm still messing up a little bit here and there. It's the up on the D-pad and then trying to start the vehicle, but you're in the damage menu instead, and you have to hit the circle button or the back button before you can start your vehicle. That continues to happen, and it's extremely annoying. Because the handbrake is super important in Alaska, even in Michigan. You need that handbrake. You're going to use it a lot. You're going to use it a lot. And I could make a separate video just talking about that. So here we're going to go into the... Here, I hit the handbrake. Don't want to keep sliding. Plus, I've just gotten used to it. So I hit the R1. I don't want to auto-load. I know 150 doesn't sound like much, but it adds up after a while, and it starts to eat into your profits. It takes about 20 missions for the crane to pay for itself. R1 again. Now I can hit load. It'll put it there, as you saw. Now I want to back up. Totally not realistically. Whatever. The game allows me to do it without damaging the trailer, and the trailers can't really take damage. Whatever. It is what it is. Now, I can't use my crane from here. It'll flip my truck. I have to detach it. Now see See here, I'm trying to hit forward, but I'm in this stupid menu where it says show damage or crane mode. Can't tell you how many times I'm trying to hit this. It says close functions. Nope, gotta hit the back button to get out of the, you know, up on the D-pad to get out of this menu, you gotta hit back on the back button. That, for some reason, my muscle memory cannot grasp. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just not clearly shown on the screen. But it's just kind of stupid. It is what it is. So we'll activate the anchors. Now I'll go to crane mode. I'm gonna hide the controls. I don't need them anymore. Done this so many times. So after about 20 missions, 20 to 25 missions, depending, maybe less, the crane eventually pays for itself. And then after there, it's just continued savings. Some missions you got to require you to load 4, sometimes 5 pieces of cargo. 5 times 150 is 750 bucks. 4 times 150, 600, you know. You're thinking, well, that's not much. Yeah, it is. It's, do it 100 times, you know, 10,500 bucks or something like that, or is it 15,000? It's 150 times 100. I'm pretty sure that's 15,000. So right there, your crane already paid for itself almost 3 times over in a situation like that. And I've done well over 100 missions, if you include fishing it. But getting to know the crane takes time. The crane, for some reason, the muscle memory came really fast for me. I developed it very quickly. That means the game did a good job at putting the right button controls on my controller to the game, where it's a word I haven't used in a while, ergonomically adapts very well for a human being. Wow. Can I be a nerd any more than that? Scientific. I just want to say SnowRunner did a good job on that part. The crane functions are very easy to learn, and then once you commit it to muscle memory, and you will load lots of cargo. When you first start getting to know the crane, you're not going to look forward to it. Then after a while, it starts to get better. The next thing you know, you don't need the controls anymore. Then loading up cargo becomes fun. It's quick. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just put it in the container somewhere where you think it's supposed to go, and then when you hit the unpack pack button, depending on what you have, pack your cargo, it will put it in there neatly for you and where it's supposed to go. So neatness is not priority when loading cargo onto your trailers with a crane. Here we are on our way to Town Supplies, which is in White Valley, which I'm heading to through the tunnel. But I just wanted to start this video and say I've gotten to know this game a little bit better. It's very frustrating to learn. Once you learn it, you get all the muscle memory in place. Then the game starts to open up and become more immersive. Especially if you play hard mode. I recommend hard mode if you're bored with this game, but you just don't want to give up your progress. I totally get it. But me, now I'm talking about just me as a person, how I feel about it. The regular version of this game, I got bored within 6 days and was ready to play a different game. I was completely ready. Then I thought, well, there's hard mode. So I did a little bit of research before I started for about a couple days. Started playing hard mode and then realized, wow, they did a really good job with hard mode with this game. there's not a lot of money in the very, very beginning. The very beginnings of this game is very easy to fail, where you'll have to start your game over from scratch, completely start over. But I've gotten to the point now where I'm almost rank 18. I've got about $70,000. Finally, I've got some real money, which isn't a lot. For recovery fees, other ridiculous fees, stuff that happened to me. I was in Michigan, I was down to $16,000, and I was on Drummond Island. I got the P16, I'm like, yes, I've got it. I found it with my Scout Chevy CK1500. And within 2 minutes, I flipped my P16 onto its side. And I thought to myself, what just happened? My game is over, I've got to restart. And I'm thinking, nope. And to recover, I'm thinking, nope, maybe I just need to go to Alaska. But let me backtrack a second. In Michigan, where the P16 is on Drummond Island, it is put there strategically for a player to where if a person flips the P16 and they recover it to the garage, which is, by the way, in Smithfield Dam, which is a completely opposite end of the spectrum for the game, where you need to be going, to where Drummond Island almost becomes unsolvable. So I thought, no, I'm gonna show you everybody too. Don't worry, I'll show you where I flipped and what to avoid. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. So I'll stop the engine, hit the square button in the middle of the PlayStation 4 controller, hit the square button, the big square button, now the small square button for global map, hit L1 to Michigan, go to Drummond Island, hit R1 until I see the P16, which like I say, is specifically put there for you for the game, and they provide you wooden planks, blah, blah, blah. They provide you metal beams. There's a sawmill nearby, but you need the P16 on this side because there's broken bridges that, you know, big vehicles cannot get through. Because the P16 is put there on purpose for the player, where it's at, and then the P16 fixes the bridges from where it's at. It's on the other side, and the game will not let you fix the bridges on the opposite side, which is near the entrance to where Drummond Island is entered in, and so it's you know, it's a game. The game has certain strategies, and it's kind of like a puzzle where it's saying, okay, you need to find the P16. You find the P16, everything's good, hunky-dory, for lack of a better word. Hunky-dory, I haven't said that word in a long time. I think everybody knows what that means. It's a figure of speech that means everything's going to be cool. Look at this, and it's extremely heavy. My Chevy, there's no way it's going to be able to turn this over. It's just too heavy. But look what I did. Instead of me driving on the rough terrain, I tried to use the bridge. So, how stupid of me to even think that I could go across that bridge with, and these concrete blocks were provided for the game. I don't know where they go yet. But now that I've got a bunch of more powerful vehicles, I can retain them in the garage and deploy them for a fee. Back to Michigan, I'm only going to choose one. I think it's going to be the Cat. I found the Cat 754C, and it's got that big fuel tank, which I purchased for it. The frame add-on, and I filled it up with a bunch of fuel because I'm going to need it, first of all, to fill up, refuel. Now, don't even ask me how this happened. Yeah, this one's flipped too, which has got the saddle low for the semi-trailers that are full of fuel on this map. Not the semi-trailers. Yeah, is that what they're called? That one's flipped. Yeah, the fuel carrier semi-trailer, there's two of them. 2 or 3 of them on this map, if I can't remember. But I haven't been here in a while. Here's my Chevy. Exploring around, you know. It's got some fuel. But, yes. Let's go back. Let's look at the P16 again. I drove this literally for 2 minutes, which everybody knows it's located over here. And I'm like, wow, finally I found it, yes. And I'm thinking, my game is saved. So I drove down here, and then blah, 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 literally it took me like 2 minutes. And I flipped it. So I'm gonna need a real powerful vehicle to unflip that. Well, I've got one finally. But first I need to find the biggest engine for it. And that is the Cat 754C, which is in Alaska. Let's take a look at it. If I remember where I put it. Here it is. There's a better engine for it, and I want to find that first. And the reason you might be asking, well, I thought you said that you can't do that. I thought you said the P16 has to be where it's at. Well, there is a way to get around those bridges, but there's some deep water. And I thought, okay, I can do it with a Scout, of course. I think the Con 39 Marshall, which is spelled Khan, could do it, which I have one, but it wouldn't be powerful enough to upright the P16. It just doesn't weigh enough. But on the other hand, this Cat right here, yes, and it's got the fuel to make the trip. Once I get done here in Alaska, I'm going to retain this in my garage and deploy it to Smithfield Dam and then make the long trip to Drummond Island, because there's no garage in Drummond, everybody knows. And in order to do that, I'm going to need fuel. And I believe it is heavy enough to upright the P16, and it's also going to be big enough and strong enough to go through the water, to go around the bridge, to upright the P16, and then the P16 can do its job for Drummond Island, and I can complete Drummond Island. But then, okay, so I was thinking to myself, I got to restart my game. I was down to like 16,000 bucks. I'm on Drummond Island. I'm almost out of fuel in Michigan. I've got like one fuel tanker left that I found, and it's got like 350 gallons left of fuel, and that's it. And then I got to start paying for fuel. So I'm like, nope, I'm just going to retain a couple vehicles, pay 7,000 bucks, because, you know, it's 3,500 bucks. And I deployed to my, I'm trying to think where this is going to go. I don't think it's going anywhere. I like where it's at, but I'll drive it a little bit. And I was thinking, how am I going to save my game? This is hard mode. So I took a day off from this game. Said, I'm just going to go to Alaska, start fresh. So I paid the retain fees, the deploy fees for 2 vehicles, the Fleet Star and the White Western Star. Yes. The White Western Star 4964. I retained those to Alaska, and since then, my game has finally recovered. Alaska is a little bit more, it's easier if you have the right tools. Not at the very beginning, but Alaska does become a little easier. First of all, it has way more fuel, free fuel containers available. It's ridiculous how much more there is in Alaska compared to Michigan. Michigan, they don't give you that many free ones, and you really need to be careful about how you do your driving around, and especially on hard mode. Before you know it, you're going to be out of fuel in Michigan, which I pretty much was. And then you got to start paying for fuel, and then it's game over. So I had to... See, this fuel carrier is almost out. Here's my Cat. I might as well just... There. Now, the cool thing is I can deploy this to my garage, this Cat, go to Michigan, and I haven't tested it, but... Hold on. I haven't tested it, but I'll have 423 gallons that I can take with me to Smithfield Dam, which is the closest to Drummond Island, then make the journey to Drummond Island, and I know I won't run out of fuel. I can refuel my vehicles, take this to the workaround, and it's heavy enough to flip my P16 upright. I can finally do Drummond Island. But first I got to finish up in Alaska. In Alaska right now, I am at the global map. Thought it was going to tell me how much I've completed. Oh yes, that's by hitting Hold on with me. Bear with me. Alaska is 55% complete. There's my profile name. Don't try to friend me. It won't let you because I have friend lists turned off, and nobody can see anything. So don't go on your PlayStation, try to become a friend of mine. It's going to automatically not even try to accept it. I did that on purpose. No friends accept. No friend. I turned friend acceptance off because it's annoying. I don't really want friends for PlayStation 4. It's just not my play style. People are annoying to play with in real life in this game. They really are. I tried it with Farming Simulator 19. We're able to do co-op, and everybody just basically trolls. They're trolls. Anyway, that's off topic. Just saying that was my profile name. Everybody saw it. It's no big deal. But there's no use trying to chase that. You might be saying, well, I'm trying to make friends with him. How come they... Well, because I have them turned off, and that's on purpose. All right, then. Let's look at that again. 55%, Michigan 55% by coincidence. Here's my trophies. Not really interested. Contests, I have not done any in Alaska yet. I don't know if I want to. They're not necessary. They're not mandatory. But there are certain types of stuff that is mandatory. So I have 40 missions completed in Alaska, and I'm assuming probably 40 in Michigan too. So that's 80 missions completed, and most missions, a lot of missions are loading stuff with cranes, times that by 150. My crane has paid for itself probably 4 times over by now. So the crane is mandatory on hard mode. Now in regular mode, I don't understand people who play it, to tell you the truth. How they think it's fun. I don't understand why they... I mean, you play it for 6 days, you play it for a week, it's fun, and then you're thinking it's just too easy. But in my opinion, to continue playing it, I don't see the fun factor anymore. But thank goodness, hard mode. Hard mode for this game is completely different. It's a completely different game. It turns the game on its head. There's a lot more planning. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. But you just have to relax and take it all in, and eventually a plan will form. And it's all around fuel. Fuel has to come into that. See, there's another fuel tanker over there. There's so many scout. I almost said focus for some reason. There's so many scout vehicles, free fuel trailers. It's ridiculous how much fuel there is in Alaska. I don't know why there's way more in Alaska than there is Michigan. Michigan could use at least 1 or 2 more fuel missions where you use up all but 10% of it and then turn it in, or another one where we just get to use all of it without having to worry. It's not connected to a Michigan. There's not enough fuel in Michigan. There really isn't. On hard mode. On hard mode, there is not enough fuel in Michigan for beginning. You run out of fuel. If you want to continue to, if you want to complete Michigan 100%, you got to make it to Drummond Island in time to get those semi-trailers. But I think there's not even hardly any there. You're going to run out of fuel even more quickly. Michigan is a nightmare. Alaska is a lot more fun and easier, in my opinion. It takes a little longer to get going because of the, But if you just take your time and come up with a plan, Alaska is a little bit more enjoyable. Drummond Island is a nightmare, but I think I'm going to be okay. Yeah, I got to find more upgrades. There's the upgrade for the Dairy Longhorn, which I've just discovered. There is an engine I can buy, but it's not the best engine. I'd rather find the upgrade and get it for free. This only can have a saddle high or a saddle low, but I've already got it set up for a saddle high, because there's a couple missions which require a saddle high. But that's all it's got: a saddle high, a saddle low, nothing else. But it's a nice truck for that. It's going to. Oh yeah, I'll get the trailer, which is the saddle low, which has 5 slots. That's what I'll probably use this truck for later. So it's gonna have a very, very nice purpose to it later, where I'll be able to haul a lot of cargo. All right then, everybody have a great day. I hope you've learned something. If you have any questions in the comments, let me know. Take care. Happy Friday.